Hey there, lovely people. Troop Beverly Hills, 1989. So this one stars Shelley Long, Craig T. Nelson, and it was directed by Jeff Kanew. That's a Kanew, not canoe, like the other kind of canoe. So, anyway, the plot revolves around Phyllis Neffler. So she lives a pampered life in Beverly Hills with her daughter and her soon-to-be ex-husband, who is over in the pool house as the divorce is going ahead. When her daughter's Girl Scout troop might be disbanded, the troop is like notoriously bad, just hopeless. Phyllis takes on the role of their den mother, so no one thinks she can do it. A lot of people want to see her fail. Her husband laughs at her. The girls in the Red Feathers troop are like their big rivals. They want to see them fail, and most especially the leader of the Red Feathers, Velda, who's the main antagonist of the film. So the film follows the exploits of the girls of Troop Beverly Hills. Among the girls are Tiffany, Emily, who is the daughter of an out-of-work actor, and they have like financial difficulties. It's kind of difficult for her when everyone else has lots of money. There's Tessa, who is in therapy twice a week, and there is hostile Chica, whose parents are just always away, like she's just always by herself, and they actually forget her birthday at one point. And there's Claire, who is a child star who sees the Wilderness Girls as her chance to lead sort of a, everyday life. And yeah, Tiffany's all about money. So her father kind of bribes her for stuff, like gets her to do things by giving her money. She knows the value of $1. Yeah, so they have to do things like go camping and learn life skills and earn badges and stuff like that. And as the film progresses, they do things you might recognize, like selling Girl Scout cookies. And they have to try and beat their big rivals at the big jamboree at the end. So that's kind of loosely the plot. It stars Shelley Long. So you might know her from Diane on Cheers. She repeated that role in a few episodes of Frasier. She's an Emmy and Golden Globe winner, and this was her first role post Cheers. More recently, you might know her from Modern Family, and in the 80s, she appeared in quite a few like fun films in that decade, and in the popular 90s Brady Bunch movies. When I was looking her up to I just like to always do a little background on people. She was actually in a TV movie once, where she played a character with 20 personalities. So that just kind of sounded hilarious, but apparently it was quite critically acclaimed, so that's pretty cool. She's joined by Craig T. Nelson as her husband, Neffler the Muffler Man. So he's earned his money with his muffler business, and they've kind of grown apart as they became more successful. He plays Zeke Braverman on Parenthood, and he's the voice for Mr. Incredible in The Incredibles. I want to give a little special mention to Mary Gross at this point, because I just love her. She's in loads of stuff. She's a teacher in Sabrina. She was on Saturday Night Live. I think she's in Practical Magic as well, which I absolutely love that film. So she starts out spying for Velda. She sort of says that she's going to be like helping Phyllis, but she's actually spying. And it's just kind of funny. Like they give her some spy gear and she gets to kind of, just have some fun and kind of be undercover. But she has this very soft demeanor. And I just love it when she's in films because she comes across as quite timid and she's funny. So the director, Jeff Kanew, he did a lot of editing, including Ordinary People, and he also directed Revenge of the Nerds, which is like another big 80s film. So where are we? So The story credit for this movie goes to Ava Ostern Fries. Why can't I pronounce anyone's names in this? Everyone's name in this movie is just like slightly like not how I like want to pronounce it. So anyway, the film was based off Ava Ostern Fries' experience. She was actually a Girl Scout troop leader in Beverly Hills, so she kind of had the idea for the story from some of the stuff that that she did, and kind of the way they were looked at as being sort of pampered and, you know, brats and hopeless in the wilderness. So she has a story credit. The screenplay credit was Pamela Norris from Designing Women and Margaret Oberman for Saturday Night Live, which really kind of tells you exactly what kind of tone this movie has. The movie takes in several landmarks of the area and has some really fun Hollywood cameos. Cheech Marin is in it, makes a little appearance. There's also Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello seen like jogging in the neighborhood, so that's fun. The girls that play the troop, like the actual scouts and some of the rival scouts, it's kind of funny to watch this movie because a lot of them are really recognizable faces. There's Carla Gugino, Tori Spelling, Jenny Lewis, Kelly Martin, Heather Hopper, Amy Foster. They all went on to do more things, and they're just so young, so that was kind of nice. I had forgotten they were in this film till I watched it. It has one of those animated opening sequences, which is really fun. I don't see that as much anymore. I suppose like James Bond still kind of has the big opening sequences, but I think there are a few films in the 80s that had the cartoon opening, which I quite like. The animator for that was John Crickfalusi. So he worked for Hanna-Barbera and Filmation, but just after this film's release, he created Ren and Stimpy. So, so that's kind of just a random little fun one for you. So the thing with this film, right? So these are pampered girls, and they're the underdogs in the arena of Girl Scouting because they are, you know, they're rich and it's kind of hard to feel sorry for them, I guess, because they're so well off. And so that kind of didn't really sit well with critics. And so the film wasn't a huge success when it initially came out, kind of for that reason. Like, critics didn't really warm to it. But it's developed a really big cult following over time, and with really good reason. It's very funny. It has a subtle, like, feminist message. It's got really great performances, especially Shelley Long. She is so warm and so funny and so dry. And it's a very sweet film. There's a lot of moments that are really just nice, like just friendship moments or character growth, and things like that. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's just a very warm film. I don't think it really matters that the girls come from a wealthy environment. I think it's kind of just adds to like a girly element of the film. And I think as well, the 80s was very much about that that kind of vibe, like the money vibe. So anyway, one of the main things with this film though is that it's iconically stylish. The costumes were designed by Theodora Van Ronkel. She also worked on Bullet and Bonnie and Clyde, just to give you a sense of who she was. She was actually like the illegitimate daughter of Courtney Bradstreet Schwepp, who was a member of the Schweppes beverage family. And Van Ronkel was nominated for an Oscar for her work 3 times and was one of Faye Dunaway's favorite costume designers to work with. They worked on, I think, 3 films together, and she also made her dress for the Oscars. So at one point in the film, which I love this, someone comments on Phyllis's dress and she says, "Oh, it's a Van Ronkel, isn't it fabulous?" So Van Ronkel is a designer whose costumes really evoked the characters that the actors would play. You really know who Bonnie Parker is from what she wears, and what Phyllis wears tells us about her too. So after Bonnie and Clyde came out, 30s style men's suits were suddenly back in and the miniskirt was out. So Van Ronkle had big influence on fashion, or her films that she worked on did. And Phyllis is very, very 80s. Her design is very like up to the minute fashion for the era. It's very happy prints, large proportions, gold lame, big hats. And it shows us that her character is very Beverly Hills, very high fashion. And it also allows us to see that her understanding of like what she's buying and money and stuff is actually kind of part of how savvy she is. I love the way she takes her troop uniform to her tailor to get it like zhuzhed and made into like something more stylish. I think that's really nice. I have done that before where I've been like, well, I'll just put a waist in that. It's way too boxy and just kind of, you know. Because why should a uniform be ugly and unflattering, really? I like what she does with it. She has a gold outfit at one point, which is fabulous. I mentioned her huge hats. They always match her outfits. They are overly large. They, I don't think, like some of her clothes you wouldn't be able to wear in real life. She has these odd like peplum situations happening where she almost has like Marie Antoinette sized peplums on this jacket. She has things like that. It's really big, but it's really fun, and it's over the top, but it's actually kind of great. Perhaps my favorite is her red polka dot dress. She wears it towards the start of the film. I think it's a dress. It could be a skirt and shirt. I'm not sure. But it has this tiny trim waist, a matching red hat, a huge red hat. And the sleeves on it are so big and puffy that the sleeve width is about the same width as Shelley Long's waist. Like, it's just huge. I love them. So if I can get some cute polka dot print cotton, I'm so gonna make myself something similar with like massive sleeves. I just think it's really fun. This film is unabashedly feminine and focuses on how important friendship is and teamwork. And I think you could make the point that sometimes it's harder to deal with your emotions when you're pampered. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, the girls each has their own little story and their own thing that they have to grow, you know? And I think that's nice. They're not just sort of perfect people just because they have money. I don't know. It's like a minor thing, but they could have been one-note characters and they're not, I guess. Phyllis turns out to be a really good person and a good leader. And I mean, who likes camping anyway? Not me. The girls all have their own stories. They come to learn and grow as a result. There's plenty of funny little moments and little one-liners. Shelley Long has really, really good timing. And I just felt really happy after watching this. So I wanted to share it with you guys. And maybe it will cheer you guys up on a rainy day or something as well. I also went and watched Outrageous Fortune after this as well, which I hadn't seen in a really long time, so it was great. I didn't remember anything about it. And that one is Shelley Long again with Bette Midler. That's quite funny. I know this film's not going to be for all of you, and that's totally fine, but there is something lovely about this film, and I hope some of you will be inspired to maybe go and give it a watch. So that's Troop Beverly Hills from 1989. And as always, I have a Ko-Fi store, and I'm on Instagram at Hermione Flavia. And yeah, if you want to go to my website, I do have quite a backlog of written reviews as well of classic films if you're looking for some more things to watch, if you're looking for some more movie recommendations and stuff. So that's me, and thanks for coming along on the ride.